My responsibilities for In Water I'm Weightless. If you've got an English script, my job was to translate the script into British Sign Language, or maybe potentially using other ways like gesture. So it's looking at the whole script and making it into a visual piece as well, because sometimes in English you can't translate that easily from one language to another, so it's about looking at visual creative ways. Sometimes that's British Sign Language, sometimes that's gesture, and then sometimes that's a thing called visual vernacular. So I work using all of those things in conjunction with Kate.
We've been working together for some time, Jean and I, on other projects. So we've got a strong working relationship, and we very much try to work bilingually so that there isn't the dominance of one language over the other. I'm a visually impaired hearing writer. My first language, of course, is English, and I've written a script in English. This production isn't going to be a bilingual performance, but there are elements where we are reflecting or exploring deaf experience, where we are going to have moments of bilingualism. When we're working with our collaborators, whether that's Joe or Sophie, we then bring in their ingenuity and imagination and skills and find then another form where we physicalize this collaboration Jean and I began on, which is then including and interpreted and presented by Joe and particularly Sophie.
We started with basically the English of the script because when I arrived my son's a little bit rusty, so I had to base it on what I could read from it and embody characters. Me as Sophie, watching these characters and taking their thought process and their attitude, and then revealing it to the deaf, and mostly deaf, but hearing audience as well, from how we feel these people are speaking of us or about us. And so we either take the mickey out of their attitude, or we relay exactly how it is, or how we feel they make us feel. So if it's a vile attitude, quite sexually repulsive, repressive, then we take that on.
Things I've lip-read are a series of sentences that some of them I made up, and some of them I just know about over years. I've got a lot of friends who are deaf, particularly deaf women. And there's things, there's this attitude that people are always like stupid, or, people often say, oh, you're deaf and dumb. And what I wanted to try and do, and what Sophie is doing fantastically in the piece, is to reveal the ignorance of kind of hearing persons' attitudes towards deaf individuals or deaf culture or the deaf community. And we are just having fun with that. We're also just trying to reveal how the hearing majority often have really bad ideas and preconceptions. As Sophie said, they're often sexualized. Oh, well, if you're a deaf woman, she's going to be good with her hands. Or, oh, she's deaf and dumb, and so she's a bit stupid. And it's horrible to say, but it's very common, and it's often very true. And that's what the content of a lot of the monologue is.